Hello guys, this is Mosneya from Signbox Software. Uh, I have created another tutorial playlist for JavaFX, which is basically Java GUI toolkit. So in today's session, I will give you introduction of JavaFX. But first thing, if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe it now and press on a bell icon so that you will never miss a video. Guys, I have some points for you people to clearly understand overview of JavaFX. So let's start with those points. Now, first of all, we will start from the definition of JavaFX, then the feature of JavaFX, and then a stage, scene, and there are brief description about the controls. Definition: JavaFX is a GUI toolkit for Java. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. JavaFX makes it easier to create a desktop application and games in Java. JavaFX replaces Swing as a recommended desktop GUI framework, and I must say that JavaFX tool a whole lot more consistent and feature rich than Swing. Basically, JavaFX is a GUI toolkit. In that you can develop desktop and games in Java, but we will not develop games, but we will develop professional desktop applications. JavaFX replaces the Swing, and I must say that JavaFX looks a lot more consistent and feature rich than a Swing. If you have developed any application in Swing and now we will develop application in JavaFX, you will see the differences in look and features. Now let's talk about the JavaFX features. JavaFX comes with a large set of built-in GUI components like a button, text field, table, trees, menu, chart, and much more. That saves you a lot of time when you building a desktop application. JavaFX components can be styled with CSS. CSS basically a cascade styling sheet that is being used in web applications, but in the desktop application with the JavaFX you can also use a CSS. And you can use FXML to compose a GUI instead of doing it in a Java code. Instead of doing a Java code for each and every component, you can write a XML file to create a UI. This makes it easier to quickly put a GUI together or change the looks or composition without having to mess around in the Java code. It also supports ready-to-use chart components. JavaFX also comes with support of a 2D and the 3D graphics as well as audio and video support. This is useful if you are developing a game or similar media application. In JavaFX you can develop games as well as you can develop any audio or video player. JavaFX even contains a Webview based the popular WebKit browser, so that you can embed web pages or web applications inside the JavaFX. WebView component is basically you can say something like a browser. You can create your own browser in JavaFX in which you can call any web application, just like if you want, if you have developed browser, and in that browser you can access the Google, Facebook or Twitter, any kind of page, or even if you have developed your own website you can call it from that browser which you have developed in JavaFX. To fully benefit from JavaFX, it is useful to understand how JavaFX is designed. So basically, before starting a code in the JavaFX, you people must have the knowledge about the architecture of a JavaFX and what are the main components and classes in the JavaFX. So here we have one picture, and that you will understand uh, that there are two classes in JavaFX. There are two main classes in JavaFX. One is a stage, which is present in the javafx.stage package, and it is like a outer frame of your application, desktop application. Scene, javafx.scene. Scene is basically a class, and stage is also a class. In scene, uh, it is the inner frame of your application, and stack pane, root, button, btn, and these are basically components of your application. And now let's talk about the stage. Stage is the outer frame for JavaFX application. The stage typically correspond to the window. Window is something like this one. I have a window of this Google Chrome. This is in the dark color. You can see my cursor, mouse cursor. This is called the window of my Chrome application. When used in desktop environment, a Java application can have a multiple windows open. Each window has its own stage. For example, this is a Chrome application, and in that Chrome application I have a multiple windows like this one. Now this is a second window, and now this is a third window, and these are the windows in the Chrome applications. Each stage is represented by a stage object inside the JavaFX application. A JavaFX application has a primary stage object which is created for you by JavaFX runtime. In the runtime, JavaFX will create a primary stage object, so your application must have a one stage object at least. JavaFX application can create additional state object if it needs additional windows open, for instance a dialog or wizard, just like I have already created like this one. Now this is a second and this is the third window. Java application can create a multiple windows for you if there is a need for that. Now the scene. To display anything on stage in the Java application, you need a scene. Stage can only show one scene at a time, but it is possible to change the scene at the runtime. Okay. For example, you have application in which you need a login with the credentials, and this is the sample demo application for login application in the JavaFX. So scene is basically a inner frame of your application, and in that we have a welcome label, text field, button, and this is for the user authentication. When user logged in successfully, then the scene will be changed to this scene. After success, you will get the hello world. This case you can use a scene to change it on the runtime. It simply attaches the corresponding scene to the stage object of JavaFX application. So the multiple scene object will be attached to the stage object. A scene is represented by a scene object inside the Java application. A JavaFX application must create all scene objects in it needs. Okay. This is example for understanding purpose. Now let's move to the controls. JavaFX controls are JavaFX components which provide some kind of control functionality inside the Java application. For instance, a button, radio button, table, tree, etc. Or etc. For control to be visible, it must be attached to the scene object. So now this was the architecture of JavaFX. There is an outer frame called the stage, there is an inner frame called scene, and in the scene the component must be attached to the scene. Is this definition is saying that for control to be visible it must be attached to the scene object. So this is a demo picture of the scene. In that we have a one stage, and in that stage we have a scene, and in the scene we have components attached to it. So this was a basic introduction about JavaFX. Basically JavaFX is a GUI toolkit. So this was the introduction of JavaFX. In the next video we will configure Eclipse IDE for JavaFX. There are two ways to create a JavaFX application. Number one, create a GUI visual by Java code, and number two, create a GUI visual by Scene Builder, which is Scene Builder is basically a GUI tool in which you just drag and drop JavaFX component, and code will be generated automatically, as I have already told you in the XML file. So you just concentrate on your application logic rather than GUI. I will follow both ways for sample programs, but for projects I will follow second ways, which is Scene Builder. And good news for you guys is that in this playlist of JavaFX I will create a professional Java desktop application like library management, rent a car, or hotel management. I will make you understand that how you can develop a professional Java application in the JavaFX. So go and check out my next videos, or wait for my next videos uh, to post. If you have not subscribed to my channel, so subscribe it, and remember to press on bell icon so that you'll get notification about my videos in JavaFX. So thank you guys.